that farmer and take that.
Hello. So I'm at the North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh. And who's been to the museum? Show of hands. Awesome. Museum supporters, thank you. At the museum, I've been there for over 20 years in one capacity or another. And I started there just as a line cook long time ago when I was at State, and left for culinary school, came back, finished at State, and I've kind of changed jobs there a few times. But one thing I'm really passionate about now is events. But with my pastry background, I love to mix in details with all of our special events that I work on. I know this is a lot lighter topic than some of the other stuff we've heard. I have no numbers in my presentation, by the way. Not a single number. So if you're into numbers, you can bolt. Just kidding, don't bolt. But one of the first projects I wanted to show is that it's not always only about the food. A lot of projects that I like to work on work with local businesses. And you may be familiar with Spoonflower, whom I love. And my background at NC State was in fiber and surface design, so obviously Spoonflower, if any of you are unaware, it's a local company that will print fabric, wallpaper, wrapping paper, all that on demand, and they're going international. It's amazing. But just to show the kind of collaboration that happens sometimes, what you see here was a project from our teen council. They had a contest with Spoonflower to design fabrics based on the Stella, Frank Stella painting that's in our collection. And what we did, because this particular dinner was featuring our educators at the Museum of Art, we used those designs for napkins. So you can see napkins all around the table printed with these Spoonflower fabrics. Something bright, but also something good to talk about. Encouraging students to be into art, encouraging all people to be into local businesses, etc. Also, of course, since it's the holiday season, I thought I would show some funky things that I like to do with events. I'm always looking for new technologies, new things to work with, and I love, this is a cookie cutter that cuts all the pieces for little miniature gingerbread houses at one time. I love that. And this made me think of 3D printing and how a lot of times 3D printing these days, you can print, cookie cutters are like the standard for 3D printers. They're awesome to use when it comes to, from a pastry standpoint. And recently we had BetaBox. If you're familiar, BetaBox is a mobile maker lab that features 3D printing, laser cutting, and we talked about some designs like this as well. Another thing that I did, a little throwback, I like to throw in special unusual details for our events. Notice the candy buttons on the menu. This was a whole gingerbread themed event. Next, this was a little bit unusual. This was a fundraiser we did for the museum several years ago that featured, it was in June, which is late for us, and we thought, well, people are headed out of town. They're probably going to do their summer things, and we'll make kind of a car wash theme, which was really fun. And if you, before you leave, you should stop by and grab one of our sponges, pop-up sponges that were from that event. Actually, they say soak up some culture, which you can do at the museum. I know, right? I get a little clever like that sometimes. But for this particular event, I wanted to include a specialty cocktail, which you can see her spraying, which is not Windex, even though it looks like Windex, into a glass, for a blue cocktail we had then. And we did a takeaway that was essentially an air freshener, but it was a lemon and lime cookie. I told you this was a light topic. This you can see over on our table. It's really fun. You see the video down here. This is a company that I think is fascinating. They print your images on marshmallows, and it's called Boomph. They're out of London or out of England, and they're fascinating. We had an exhibition a year ago that was called Small Treasures, and every piece in the collection was under 8.5 by 11, so all smaller than a sheet of paper. Some very small, just a couple of inches. And I thought, what better way to feature this at our opening event than to print on something that's only an inch or two in size. So actually, the pieces that are in the box are not that much smaller than the actual images that were in the collection. So that was a fun way to use that. when I heard about this topic of Food 2.0, I automatically thought of technology in food. And so, obviously people are always coming up with fun, bizarre ways to use technology to do fun things with food and important things for our bodies. This image is, first 3 guys in tutus. You gotta love that. This was from when we built the new building in 2010. We had a big event, and I'll be quick. Anyway, this is an image showing how we pixelated this image of Panama girls and did it with chocolate. So they're giving away chocolates that were hand-painted for the event. And this is one of our most recent things that's coming up. I'll scan through this pretty quick, but there's a Kickstarter campaign, and recently in October, we had the inventor of the pancake bot come to Raleigh and bring his prototypes that he made for his daughters originally out of Legos. And we actually had an event where we did this with Escher, MC Escher Tessellations. MC Escher is the exhibition that we have at the museum right now. So in this case, you see them making all these different designs. And these were some of the tessellations from the actual event. It's really fascinating to watch it. It actually sounds like it's full of tiny robots making it. It's awesome. And this is just another quick one. I'll let you see a couple seconds of it. It's the first animated pancakes, which is hysterical. And this was with his daughters. I wish I could fast forward through a little bit of this, but it is what it is. Soon enough, we will actually own 2 of the pancake bots at the museum, so you can come to events and experience it for yourself or design them for yourself and see what it looks like. These are his 2 adorable daughters that came with him when he came in October. But he's animated pancakes. Notice the sun in the background, fried egg. So awesome. And the fence is bacon, by the way. So cool stuff that you can do with food technology. And finally, I hope you enjoyed it. A couple of gingerbread people. Thanks.